actually look similar the height to me now.
Ah, this thing, yeah. My thing is like...
He's sitting on a 3-inch piece of foam.
My legs are really small. I think my proper pants length is a 27 or 26.
Everything of you is very small.
That's true.
Crouch. Bind. Set.
I'm Thomas.
I'm Adam.
Welcome to Season 2, Episode 2 of the PODcastaways.
I did this last week and I thought it was pretty cool.
It is pretty sweet. Today we're going to talk about the game that happened this past weekend against Dayton. We had our captain's elections last night, and then we'll talk a little bit about the Six Nations as well, even though it's a little bit behind us now, but a pretty loosey-goosey episode, and probably some other stuff in there as well. But
yeah. Most importantly, we got a new microphone.
We did.
So if we sound...
Going places.
We sound smooth jazz, but we're sitting on very squeaky chairs. So... Okay, don't break the chair.
I was going to break the chair. Come on, I'm not trying to get you guys a security check taken.
Okay, where do you want to start?
Dayton, I thought.
Dayton, okay, cool.
So I guess I can kind of give my rundown of the Dayton game, because I played the full 80. One of us lost a kidney during the game. But it was exactly what we expected. They're a very physical team. And, I mean, obviously we saw that they hit hard. They looked for the big hits. They carried hard, a lot of the right off the ruck running. It was a lot of forwards pods. Their 13 is perpetually hard as nails. The dude is one of the best players I think I've played against. So he had a good game, but the game ended I think 14 or 15 to 3. 15 to 3 with our sole points coming from Ollie kicking conversion. Penalty, sorry. We just had we were getting the ball to the areas of the field we wanted to be in, but we just were not making the gain line. We would hit the line and not move forward, is what I kind of noticed. And one of our continuing issues from last season was our discipline, and that continued to show into this game, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think from it was good to see some of the new guys come out and join in, who obviously haven't played very many minutes. So shout out to Chris, and to Drew, to Tim. Stu, Tim, even new Nick, who played the end of the fall season, came out and didn't have.
He had a good game.
Yeah. So yeah, return of Master Blaster as well.
Back,
Blaze played obviously very well.
Yep, had a couple good line-out steals.
Blaze playing
The Blaze Fan Club
intro. But yeah, I think on the whole there were some individual performances. Obviously, as you alluded to, I didn't make it through the whole game. I got that 13 hit me. We ran.
Seems like
we ran a move 5 or 6 times, and they were looking for it. So it was bad decision making on our part. We won't point fingers or name names, but he is from New Zealand. Called the move, and we ran it. I gave the pass, and then just got hit from behind. It was perfectly fair tackle. It wasn't anything dodgy or anything, but just hit me in the kidney, and it was not comfortable.
It's one of the ones you can't brace for it.
So that was me done. But then watching on the sidelines, obviously, then it felt like just game plans shift when the game happens. So as soon as the referee blows that first whistle, you have to play what's in front of you. And I feel like at times we don't look at what's happening and go, "Oh, they've got us in this aspect. We need to just shift to this."
Yeah.
So there's a little bit more rugby IQ needed. A little bit less being so involved in the game plan that you can't play what's in front of you. But there was positives as well. I'm gonna hate to say this. He's gonna give me. Everyone's gonna give me shit. Ray in centre gave 2 incredible round the back offloads, and they were very good. They did go to hand, and it was good.
They were nice.
There was some Drew put in 400 tackles. Sam put in 1,000 tackles. But you live and you learn. It's only spring. We're trying to just get as many people out. I think the main issue we had was just sheer numbers of people. We just need more players. We need more people to turn up, and I guess that leads us into the tomorrow. The game against Fort Wayne's unfortunately called off because we just don't have 15 plus guys who can play, who are willing to drive 4 hours to Fort Wayne to take on their team. Fort Wayne do have a very good D2 team.
D2 and D3. I think they also have a fledgling D4 team starting up too. So.
Yeah, so they have obviously got numbers. They're obviously going to want to play. I'm not going to say that they would put all their D2 players out to beat us, but obviously if the 15 guys who turn up to training and want to put a shirt on are D2 players, that's who is going to end up playing against us. So, you know, I don't think it's fair for us to turn up with like 13 guys and get injuries and stuff.
Yeah, it was definitely a tough call to make because we did have some guys that did want to travel and make the drive out. But we just, like I was saying, like like we had a couple people kind of get injured or go off as well. It wasn't really feasible this time around. We'd agreed thinking that we were going to have a lot more people go. Obviously, we also had quite a large number of longer time castaways either retire or opt out of the spring season this year, which has kind of lowered our numbers quite a bit too. So, but that was a big thing. But yeah, like, you know, we'll move on from the Dayton game in a second. But really, again, the thing that I wanted to make was that when I was at the bar yesterday talking through the captain's thing, one of the newer guys, Chris, came over to me. And he said it felt like we were playing against a team, and it felt like we were 15 guys trying to play rugby. And he's a new guy who'd never played before, and that was... I didn't know how to verbalize how I felt about the game until he said that, but that's exactly what it felt like. Like, everyone was chirping, everyone was yelling, disconnected, and we're not in one place. We were not a team. We were a group of 15 guys that just happened to play the same sport. Whereas Dayton had a game plan, they executed it, they followed through, and they knew exactly what was going to happen next. Whenever their equivalent of a pod was lined up, their 10 was already out there getting ready, set up, and had the back line ready to go, even phases in advance. And I just think that's kind of where we're starting a new system, obviously, under our new coach, too. So it'll take, it's fairly similar, but just seems some of the stuff is kind of shifting around and guys in new positions and stuff like that. So, but anyway.
Yeah, and that's what spring season's for. It's for trying stuff out. Like, obviously, the backs have been going through and trying out new ways of doing stuff. We want to shift our game plan. We want to make sure that we get everyone involved in things, and it's just, you know, a little change of a mindset and stuff. Like, because we did have 9, 10, 12, 13, one wing and fullback at the beginning of the game who were all players who have played before. We only had one new guy on the starting back line, who was Drew, who played 80 minutes and was incredible. But we, you know, maybe it's a case of like the older guys need to realize that we're changing stuff and just take a step back, let kind of not the new players, but like let the new system work, give it a chance. So yeah.
And again, we're kind of in the very infancy of the coaching program too. We're kind of very, I think, intentionally so narrow right now, and before we start expanding out to get more into the more expensive game plan. But anyways, outside of that, game was good, and our next game is scheduled for 4/20, funnily enough, against, I believe, the Coyotes at their home field here in Columbus. So that'll be where we play next, and then the weekend after that is the Classic, which will be a good one, I think. We have a good number of teams that have signed up that are pretty equivalent to us in as far as like talent and things like that. There's a couple D1 teams and a couple D4, but it'll be a good mix of teams, and I'm really excited for that.
Sorry, I wasn't really listening. I was texting my wife. But we have the game against Coyotes before the Classic,
before
right?
20,
Okay.
Yep. Which is why I've been making the jokes about that on all the posts.
You're not playing the crewman that day?
No, you're not. But captain elections last night, which was a little bit of a mess, but we got through it, which was the impressive.
it was typical castaways, or like we go in with a lot of organisation and then something doesn't go right, and then
everyone poo-poos it and gets upset.
Yeah, but I did record a lot of the speeches. I'm not sure how they came out. I will put some in now as we talk about them. Maybe I should talk about them because
I guess you can talk through the speeches and the candidates and stuff.
So obviously, D4. We new captain position this year. D4
You're welcome
captain.
for introducing that. It was my idea.
Yeah, Charlie Wilson, who managed to get 4,000 Star Wars references into his speech.
As I stand before you today, I'm compelled to channel the Force within me to express why I am the rightful choice to lead our D4 rugby team as captain. Like a skilled Jedi, I possess the qualities necessary to guide us to victory and unity.
And was unanimously voted in. Because he was against no one. So Charlie Wilson, well done.
None the less deserving, I should say. None the less deserving.
Oh, no, yeah, definitely. Once his leg starts working.
That's also very fair.
But yeah, knows a lot about rugby. very willing to put in the time and the effort. Like turned up to training yesterday, and took Mike aside. Mike, Matt,
Mike or Mikey, I think like that.
Mike.
Yeah.
Aside, because he's very new and was going through the basics, which is what all good captains do. Backs captain for the D3 team, I guess for the whole club. There's 2 nominations, Chris and Ollie. Ollie being the kind of incumbent.
Yeah.
Already in there, obviously. It was I can't remember who voted or how many votes it was, but Ollie did win that one. So Ollie is remaining our D3 backs captain, which is very well deserved. I think he did a great job in his first season last year of being captain. Hope to see that. I will say that he didn't do his speech. I did his speech for him in a terrible New Zealand accent, and I think I won it for him.
He wants to be everyone's best friend.
So we'll share it.
Yeah, Ollie was a good leader, I think, last year. He was a very calming presence on the field, which was something that we needed as a team. As, again, with my thing that I just said about Dayton, we tend to get, when things don't go our way, we tend to get very frazzled by it and become reactionary. And he's been a very good, calming force on the field. I've only heard stories about Nash Bash, but I heard he told everyone to go on the other side of the field while he kicked a penalty because he didn't want everyone to keep going at each other, essentially, and was like, I'll take a break.
He's very laid back. He's very calm. Sometimes he's a bit too quiet for me. He just needs to learn to shout.
Yeah.
Which is surprising because I think they have orcs and stuff in New Zealand, and you must get attacked quite often.
On the post, I almost put that he was from Mordor.
Yeah, he should.
But I didn't do it.
Hobbit Town.
I was trying to avoid the New Zealand references, the Kiwi references. I'm trying to avoid them completely.
I'll put in 100 of them now then. And then the forwards captain. So we had three nominees for forwards captain. Bert, who is opted out of this spring season for reasons, but nonetheless did record. Did he record or did he just do it? No, he didn't.
He did his live over Zoom or over Teams.
He wasn't able to make it, so we did it over Teams. Couldn't quite hear him, but Bert was there. Blaze.
The Blaze Fan Club.
Blaze Fan Club.
Shortest speech.
His speech. I will sum up his speech and the summary of his speech will be longer than his speech. His speech was, "If you want me to be captain, I'll be captain."
And that was it.
But yeah, Blaze, and then
I ran.
Thomas Mitchell. Yeah. Obviously, being the tallest castaway, it was his immense presence is felt.
You can tell just arching over the table.
But yeah, so then. Congratulations.
As your captain, I kind of have 3 main things that I wanted to change or evolve from what we've done previously before, I guess more accurately, because Rory did a great job.
On getting that, I know that you it's a highlight for you and something you would like to do. So yeah, definitely it's going to be an interesting 12
It's definitely
months.
a good sign or not a good sign, but it's a sign of the transition that we've been talking about for so long, of the team finally going to a more, the more youthful or younger players or newer players into those key leadership roles, which I think is a big win. Ollie obviously represents really the new, and while I've not been around for a long time, I've at least seen the team prior to this sudden injection we got of you, Ollie, and Sam, and a bunch of new guys all at once. I was there for at least a year or two where we had the roster was basically the same as it had been for the couple of years prior as well, and they were going to the semis and that kind of stuff, and we're in that rebuild period now. But I'm very excited about it. I definitely had some trepidations about even accepting the nomination, but I got talked into it, so I'm happy that I did it.
I think it'll be good.
Yeah.
And thank you to Seventh Son for hosting us. Here you go. For having, we had a couple of beers and some food and sat around. It was good.
Almost joined a running club. I was there. I almost joined a running club. God. Or the OSU Veterinary Society, whatever was there.
Yeah.
Pretty funny too, but
yeah, so did that. That was good fun. What else did you want to talk about?
I think that kind of... anyways, as far as the Castaways go, like I said, our next game we play in Columbus, but not at Rhodes, at a different field here in the area against the Coyotes. Then we have the Classic on the 28th. Or the 27th. That's now a one-day tournament. We had some changes come through. We were able to get a permit to, or not permit, but permission to, anyways, open up a third field at Rhodes, therefore allowing the brackets to be condensed into one day versus 2 days, which is honestly really nice. I think the second day which you guys are not really affected by Nash Bash too badly, but you get that like second day fatigue of like, I don't even want to go back out again, or teams don't show up. They go to the social and get so socialed that they don't want to come back out the next day. So things like that happen. I think it's a smart decision to shorten it, which is exciting. And then the bar crawl and everything. But with that kind of stuff taken care of, I wanted us to look at the Six Nations team of the tournament. I kind of had a little bit of a sneak peek out of it. I honestly only remember 2 of the people that were even on the team roster. So I don't know everybody that's on it. I imagine it's probably pretty Ireland dominated, with a few, I would imagine, Englishmen and probably 1 or 2 Italians. I don't think the Welsh or maybe the Scots with Finn Russell, who seems to just, fans love him, so I'm sure he probably got put on there right away. But I thought that, to me, Ford was actually better 10 the whole tournament. That was my opinion. But anyways, talk me through it.
Well, okay, front row. Who do you think would have been? I know who your favorite person in the world is.
So at hook, I guarantee it's Dan Sheehan. The dude, he seems to always score tries and is always basically an extra 8-man. At number 1, I'd either give that. He seems, again, as another one that I know he gets a lot of media attention, is probably Andrew Porter. Would be my guess for that one. And then for, is it the loose head that's number 3 or the tight head?
I don't know. On my back.
I always forget. I'm gonna go for that one. I'm gonna guess an Italian. And I don't know his name, but I'm going to go with, like, it's Fischetti or Rizzioni or something like that is my guess for the number 3 spot. How close?
You got 2 out of 3.
2 out of 3. Who's the other? Who did I miss?
You missed. So you got Sheehan and Porter. It's a Frenchman.
Antonio? Or
Antonio, yeah.
Okay, interesting.
I think it's tight head that side.
I don't know. I should know because I'm a forward, and I don't know.
I think it's tight head that side.
The level we play at, people flip slides of the scrum all the time. That it's not that important to know it all the time. My other guess was Schumann, because I know he had a good tournament, but. Or Schumann, I would say his name. The prop from Scotland.
South Africa.
Yeah, there you go.
The Spring Club.
What do you think of that? Do you think those people are all 3 deserving winners?
Definitely Dan Sheehan, definitely Andrew Porter. I don't know. I'm less versed in like the front row stuff, so I don't know. I always think that Joe Marler and Dan Cole, and I just. Because they're mouthy and they get around and they, that you see more of them. So like, I always think they play well, but you just don't know.
I think props are just perpetually underrated, anyways. Yeah. It's now that I've come to play in the front row as at hook, which is I know completely different. It's kind of front row light. The technical stuff that goes into what props do is insane, and I don't think you can really quantify it in a data sheet, which is why they end up with like 5 points a game, even though they.
Unless you score 2 tries. And then I'll give you a clue. It's an all-Irish second row.
So Joe McCarthy has got to be one of them. And the other one, he wears a blue scrum cap normally, and I'm picturing his face. It's not Ian Henderson. Tag Byrne.
Tag Byrne, yeah.
Tag Byrne is the other one. Both deserving. I think that Tag Byrne has been, if not one of the best or the best forward in the Northern Hemisphere for at least a year or 2. I think he's been phenomenal. He can poach, he's fast, he runs good lines, he hits well, he's a good line-out option. I don't think there's much that he doesn't offer as far as being a pretty complete player.
Yeah, I would agree. Like, very good. Both of them very good players. First names on the team sheet, I guess. The back row I don't think will be... Well, 2 out of the 3 I don't think will be surprising at all.
The one that I know guaranteed for that one has to be Ben Earl. To me, he should have been player of the tournament, in my opinion. He was phenomenal every single time that he stepped foot on the field. From minute 1 to minute 80, he was the best player for England every single game, I would argue. At 7, I feel like it would be either Michele Lemereau or they'll just go to Van der Fleer because he...
Van der Fleer didn't have a very good tournament.
No, he didn't. But that would be my guess because I think Van der Fleer, he's player of the year, so they give it to him.
He was player of the year 2 years ago.
2 years ago. And then for 6...
It was Lemereau, by the way.
It was Michele Lemereau. Yep. And then for 6...
He's technically an 8.
That's Caelan Doris, that has to be. Okay. Caelan Doris, I thought I was going to have him before Ben Earl even at 8, but I felt like Caelan Doris didn't... Ben Earl's the flashy 8-man. Caelan Doris does have his flashy moments, but he also does the dirty grunt work as well, and he's a little bit less noticed in some ways for that. So.
Yeah, I mean, Ben Earl for me ruined the England-Ireland game because he was good.
Yeah, he's pretty good.
But yeah, I honestly didn't... I couldn't.
Do you want to try to?
argue
Oh, I
those.
guess you've looked at it now. I was going to say, do you want me to guess the back line? Do you want to guess the back line, but you've already looked at it now.
Oh, really?
So
Yeah, that's what we should have done. 9.
it's got to be Jamison Gibson Park. I don't think there's anyone else
Yep.
that really fits into that. No one else was as good as he was.
No one else. I don't think anyone else, other than although.
Them pulling Connor Murray on is like, it's like Weekend at Bernie's. Like they're pulling a corpse onto the field to pass the ball out. I don't know why they still have him. And he just signed another central contract, which basically guarantees him playing time, is insane to me.
Yeah.
Don't think that's the right decision. But
10.
Finn Russell guaranteed, even though I think that Ford and Jack Crowley had better.
Finn Russell did not miss a kick until the 4th game.
But he also captained a team that would piss away the second half every single game, or vice versa. And that's just not, I don't know. I just don't think it's good. I think that Ford, to me, was the 10 of the tournament. I think he was the most tactically consistent. Even if he was not on a winning team, he was making the right decisions.
Mm-hmm.
And, I mean, you saw him play in the World Cup. He put the whole team on his back against Argentina and scored all their points that game. So I have a lot of faith in him. I like him a lot. So the centers, I'm just going to talk through this because I already know what they were. Those are the two that I did see before, were Menoncello and Aki.
Traditional Connacht name is Bundy Eki.
Bundy Aki. Menoncello absolutely was deserving of it, in my opinion. He was my player of the tournament, other than maybe Ben Earl. I really liked how he plays. I think that Italy, which is a Scotland problem too, likes to run, if the field is this way, like to run this way rather than up. Mm-hmm. And Menoncello really helps Italy go in a straight line.
Yeah.
Which that was a big thing. And Aki he was not at his peak. I don't think he was at his best this tournament, but he was still really good.
I think he was good.
Cup, he was the best.
I would say that Bundy Eki was probably the player of the World Cup for me, up until the quarterfinals.
Yeah.
I would not have picked Bundy Eki. I would have picked an all-Italian centre partnership.
Ignacio
That
Brex
Brex was amazing.
Yeah.
Like from just set piece and stuff, just
defensively,
cutting
he's
lines
so
and
good.
stuff, and then obviously his tackling is just incredible.
One of the best chop tacklers I've ever seen.
Back three won't be surprising.
This is one because I don't pay as much attention to the back three as I used to.
Name 3 back 3 players.
Okay. I think I would have Hugo Keenan in there, but because he got injured, I think I would have Thomas Ramos at 15, even though I really don't think he had a good tournament. James Lowe has to be on the list. He's a player that I see him and I feel angry, and I don't know why. His face makes me feel that way about him. It's probably because he has the man bun, and I hate man buns. And then the other one. Who would the other?
Scottish.
If it's Duhan, he's not deserving. Is it Duhan?
Yes.
He does not deserve that at all. He was awful the whole tournament except against England, where he decided to get his pants, pulled his pants up and play.
I mean, I do think he scored every try that was given him to him an opportunity to score. Like his 2 tries in the England, 2 or 3 tries in the England game.
I think he had a hat trick.
3 tries in the England game and got a yellow card.
To me, he's exactly what I was saying. He just runs sideways. Yes, he scores, and yes, he does take his lines and he does score on occasion. But you get that 1 out of every 3 runs. All the other runs, he just runs sideways. Maybe he gets 5 meters, but it takes him 20 meters of length to get to that. And I just don't. Mm-hmm. A person of his size needs to be trucking someone like Hugo Keenan, and he's not doing that for some reason. And I just don't understand why. Maybe that's their strategy, but he's been employed to do so that it can create some chaos for Finn Russell to thrive in. But I just don't. I don't like Duhan. I think he's not. He's good, but I don't think he deserves that spot.
Larry's going to be annoyed at you.
I think if I could replace Duhan, Tommy Freeman was phenomenal. I thought he was really, really good. Really, really good.
Who's the other?
The other winger that played for England?
I think he played fullback. Mustache.
Furbank.
Oh, he's terrible.
Disagree. Actually, I think he needs to be starting over Stewart, and I have come to support
Leicester
because of you.
Freddie Stewart is very good at one thing. If you have a team that's going to put the ball high and kick it, Freddie Stewart is taking that ball 99 times out of 100. But Freddie Stewart does not play running rugby. He doesn't take the ball and hit lines, and he doesn't score very often. And he does tackle, but he's more of he's there for a solid back 3 catch the ball. I just don't like face bush whatever his name is. What's his name?
Furbank. George Furbank.
I don't like him, partly because he plays for Northampton, but partly because he would jump into things and like he brings his knees up and he just like knees people in the face and stuff like that, and he just doesn't seem to have the technical high ball ability that a fullback needs at that level.
To me, the thing that he brings that no other fullback in watching the Premiership that's English qualified, I guess I should say, because Santi Carreras that plays for Gloucester does this. He's a playmaking 15.
Yeah.
The one thing that he provides that I don't think that many other fullbacks in England have currently is the counterattack. He carved it up. Some of the tries England scored came from him carving it up the middle and off, like getting that pass away to somebody. And yes, he is not good under the high ball. With Stewart, he's not always the best tackler back there, but what he offers in counterattack, I think, outweighs a lot of those cons for me because he makes stuff happen. Mm-hmm. England, traditionally with Stewart, the other teams know it's going to take Stewart 20 minutes to run from the 22 to get to halfway line carrying it up, so he's going to kick it anyways.
6'7", you know.
So, not much taller than me, actually. But anyway, like, I don't know. I think Furbank's, he's not great, but he's better than
yeah.
So, I don't know. That's my personal opinion. I like Furbank, but as far as other wingers go, I thought Angie Capuozzo was good when he got to play. But
Cappuccino, very good, yep.
Monty Ioane is never bad for Italy either. He had a couple of good games, I thought. Scotland's wingers, I think if Darcy Graham had played, he would have been a big one for me. I really like Darcy Graham. Ireland, who was the winger that got injured that kind of missed a lot of the games?
Matt Hampson didn't play. He didn't play.
Didn't play at all, that's right. I did see the clip of him wearing the jersey with Sexton on the back where it says 69. Did you see that clip?
No.
He was at one of the games. Yeah, it said 69 on the back and Sexton across it with the name. But
wow.
I don't know. That was and then so who would have the player of the tournament was Tommaso Menoncello, the inside center for
which I think is
Italy.
deserving. He was very good. The other two players I think could have won it would be Brex because he was again incredible, and Ben Earl was incredible. I don't know. The only things I disagree with probably on that, I agree with you about Duhan van der Merwe. Probably not the best. And then maybe I agree about Finn Russell, but you can't not pick. Like
you've got
to pick him. He kicked everything. I think he missed 2 in the whole tournament. I think some of his decision making is questionable. But if you're going to play front-up rugby and try and play, play in the chaos and mess up another team, you got to have him on the team. I
don't think I would have given Joe McCarthy a spot on that list. I thought he had a really, really good first game. I can't remember who they played, but he had a really good first game. And after that, he just didn't do anything, I guess, noticeable anymore. And I thought there were other locks that played better. Like I thought Maro Itoje had a very, very good tournament.
Maro Itoje, he's very quiet. That's the thing. Is like there's another thing. They think. Did you see? I forget who it was, but they were picking the Lions team for next year, 2025. Yeah, next year. Yeah. And they reckon Maro Itoje will be the captain of the Lions. Which
no, it's going to be Farrell on Farrell, and it's going to be. I'm dead serious. I think Owen Farrell's going to be the captain. I think that's what's going to happen. I think he's going to play 12. I think Bundy Aki's going to be at 13, and I think that Finn Russell or something will be at 10. I think there's no way that Owen Farrell does not play.
We'll have this argument consistently now till
I still, no matter what anyone says, I really rate Owen Farrell. I don't care. I think he's one of the best, if not the best, fly halves in the Northern Hemisphere right now. I think he's that good right now, especially after Johnny Sexton's not playing anymore. I don't know. If Finn Russell was converting his stuff to actually winning games, I would feel a little bit differently, but side-to-side seesaw rugby is not how you win a game, and I feel like he does that quite a bit. So, and he normally doesn't. He's normally a lot better about it, but anyways, I would have given it to Menoncello, or I don't know who else would have been given it to. I think
player of the tournament.
Yeah, I think Menoncello would have been my top one up there. I don't think Bundy Aki should have been nominated, in my opinion. Even I don't think he played well enough to deserve that. Ben Earl would have been another one that I think would have been up there, like you said, and that's probably it. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. Yep.
A very exciting Six Nations. I'm looking forward to next year.
So, anyways, kind come out and join the Castaways. We play at Rhodes Park from 6 to 8 p.m. Or practice at Rhodes Park from 6 to 8 p.m. on Tuesdays and Thursdays. Practices have been running shorter now, but they're a lot more condensed with a lot more running and other stuff going on, which has been good, I think. Being able to get out before like 8 o'clock has been really refreshing.
Yeah.
We'll be on Thursdays. We're starting to go to Woodland's backyard now for the wonderful burrito bowls and burritos they have there, which actually sounds really good right about now. And next game is, like I said, on 420. So that I don't know there's much else to talk about. So
no, because the order's gone for all the rugby kit. If you want some PODcastaways merch, let us know. I'm going to do an Instagram thing. Let us know in the comments about, and I want to get some things. A couple of guys were talking about getting some stuff.
Patches or something. Maybe we can see if we can do patches.
Yeah, or like get some t-shirts and stuff, just fun stuff. Let us know if you want stuff, and we'll make stuff.
Done. Absolutely.
Cool. And let us know how the new mic sounds.
Yeah, we're moving up in the world.
It's $20.
$20 is $20.
Okay, we're not getting into that. All right. See you later.
Have a good